Hey everyone, you are watching the Ready to Steer channel. I bring you plus size fashion, travel, lifestyle, and relationship content, both on here and on my blog, readytosteer.com. So today's video is in honor of 1,000 subscribers. It is a Q&A video with my fiance Gio, who I'm pretty convinced y'all like more than me.
I mean, life is life.
Ooh. So I asked for your questions on Twitter and Instagram stories, and we have a whole bunch to answer today. Do you want to give a little brief introduction for the YouTube fam who might not know who you are?
No. Yes. So, my name is Gio. Like she said, I'm her fiance, and I'm pretty dope, in case you didn't know. I just am. No, but yeah, so I run my own nonprofit. I also work for a nonprofit, and I love sneakers, and I love my chunk.
That's a good first question. What are our nicknames for each other?
Oh, Chunk.
Chunk. He calls me Chunk.
Yep.
I don't know if I should say mine on camera.
Well, then don't.
Okay. I'm not going to say mine on camera. You can fill in those blanks. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get to some of these questions. Let's see. How did y'all meet?
Go ahead. You can tell your
This
version
is like
first.
this is like that episode of Martin where Martin and Gina have a totally different story of how they met. I feel like this is going to be like that, so just be prepared. So we met at a networking event for Plexus, which is the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce here in Northeast Ohio. And I had gone to many networking events there over the years with my mom. My mom was on the board for like 10 years. So I'd been to many networking events, but they had never had one in Akron, which is the city we actually live in. They're almost always in Cleveland. So they had their first Akron networking event. And so my mom dragged me there, and I had just gone through a breakup 3 days before, which is the part he hates me reiterating, but I think it's important to the story. So I was like kind of like in my feelings. And my mom dragged me out of the house to this networking event. And when he walked through the door, I was like, who is that? Because I had been to so many of these networking events with Plexus, and I had never, and it's business networking, let me clarify. It's business, it's a chamber of commerce, so it's not like it's like for dating or anything like that. But he walked through the door, and I was like, oh my God, who is that? He's so cute. I have to find a way to talk to him. And so there was one moment, it was really, really crowded, so there was one moment where he had sort of moved towards the wall, so I went over there, and I don't know why I did this, but I just decided to put my hair up, like re-put my hair up, and so my hair was like kind of in his face, but it made him notice me, and we started talking. We talked in like a big group of people all night, and then by the end of the night, I like couldn't find him, and my mom and I were leaving, and I was there with my mom still, and so my mom and I were leaving, and he comes back up, and he this is the part he remembers better than I do, but basically he asked for my number, and he said he wanted to take me out, and I gave him my number. He texted me that night, and I remember distinctly like leaving with my mom, and my mom going, I think he's into you. Like very clearly. I was like, well, he asked for my number, so I think so. And that was pretty much how we met.
Oh, that's the version you want to tell.
That's it, though. I'm not lying.
It is pretty accurate. Yeah, so like she said, we were at a Plexus event, and I had been on a breakfast panel for fair housing that morning at like 7:30 a.m. and I just was like tired, and I had to get ready to go speak in DC. And so one of my friends who was also on the panel with me that morning was like, okay, don't forget we have this Plexus event that night. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm tired. I've, a billion things to do to get ready for DC. And she's like, okay, but we have to go. Like, it's the first one in this area. Okay, it starts at 5:30. If you're up, then you have to go. And I was just like, okay. And so I did. I ran my errands. I went home. I took a nap. I woke up like 5:10. She calls me at like 5:15. Like, are you up? And I was just like, yes. And I was like, I'll be there, because I could not in good conscience not go knowing I was awake. And so I went, and it was a billion people crowded in this tiny room, and we're eating these terrible hors d'oeuvres, and I remember it was like super hot. And so my friend and I went and stood by the door, was like alongside the wall, just trying to get some air because the door was cracked open. And then yeah, she came and she stood right in front of me, and she set her food down, and then she like flips her hair back, and starts putting this ponytail up, and I was like, I'm definitely standing here, your hair's in my face. And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And so then we just started talking in a group, all night. And then at the end of the night, one of my friends forgot his binder and they were going to throw it away. And I was like, no, I know him. He's still here. He's at the bar. Let me go find him. So I went to take it to him. And I came back and she's like, oh, I was, and I was like, oh, were you looking for me or something? She's like, maybe. And I was like, well, I guess you'll just have to give me your number and let me take you to dinner. And she's like, okay. And I was like, okay. And so then she gave me her number and I texted her a little bit later and then here we are.
The rest is history. And for those of you who don't know, but you might have caught on if he followed you on Instagram, he only texts in all caps. So imagine my surprise when I give this guy at a random event my number, and he's like, I hope, the first text maybe was in lowercase.
It was.
And then he was like, I hope you don't mind, I only text in all caps. And I was like, okay. Like, I'm thinking like, okay, this is a thing that's gonna stop. Well, almost 2 years later, he still only texts me in all caps. But I honestly, as a person with anxiety, kind of like it because I never know if he, like, I don't have to like really guess his tone, like, because he never, everything is just always caps. So it's kind of actually like a good thing for us, the all caps. But that is just something else I remember from when we first met. So, okay, let's get into some, oh my God, there's like a hair on my phone.
The infamous hair.
Always, okay. Okay, let's see. What were your first impressions of each other?
My first impression was that you were very bold to come and stand in front of me and flip your hair in my face. I thought that was a bold move.
In a good way or a bad way?
It was a toss-up at the time. It turned out to be a good way, but at the time I was like, that was bold, like I was standing here, But you were cute, so I gave you a free pass.
Yeah. At the time, I mean, my first impression is that you are very attractive, and I was like, oh, he's so cute, but
That's all that counts, is first impression. First impression means the first thing.
Okay, well, yeah, I distinctly remember you, like, walking through the door and me being like, oh, like, I remember that. So I guess my first impression is that you were really attractive. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay. What is one thing you two could talk about for hours?
Traveling.
Traveling. Yeah, I feel like one of the things that happens when we go on trips, because we both like love to get in the car and just go places, is that we always talk about like our past. I think we talk about our past the most when we go on car trips, and I feel like I've learned a lot about like kind of like the you before I knew you the most when we've been in the car. But like when we're just at home, we don't really like go into that kind of conversation. But I notice when we travel, it's like we kind of dive a little deeper. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think it's because depending on where we go, it like triggers certain memories for both of us, good or bad, and then we just kind of go from there, and then we go on a tangent.
Yeah.
Or also like songs that we listen to. You know, if we're like, oh my God, I remember when this song came out and I was doing so and so.
Yeah.
So like, then it just like it triggers certain things.
What's that little thing you have? He has this little
a Zune.
I didn't even know what it was, but he still has
Microsoft made it, okay, and it came out before an iPod, and it was better, and it still holds a charge. Thank you and good day.
So we'll listen to that when we go on trips because he hasn't been able to put any new songs on it since what year? Like
I haven't tried really, but probably since like 2013.
But it's like a nice like time capsule of that time period of his life, which we have similar taste in music in a way. Like we both liked country like for a short period of time at the same period of time, which is kind of funny. And you know, we both like the same kind of music at the same time. So it's I like listening to the Zune, the Zune, whatever. Okay, so yeah, so we could talk about our past life experience, not past life, our past before we knew each other, and music. Okay. What are some of your favorite things to do together, fave date night activities?
You go first.
My favorite thing that Gio and I do together, well, I have two favorite things. So I really like when we play games. This is probably going to be similar. Yeah, so we're like not big going out people at this point in our lives. Like, I feel like we both been there, done that without each other. So at this point, like, I love like watching some true crime story on Netflix or Forensic Files or something like that, or Law and Order, or Criminal Minds. Like, I like putting that on and then playing games. We love Racco. What are the other?
Categories.
Not categories.
We do play categories.
Okay.
You just don't like it because you don't win.
Sequence.
Yeah.
Skippo. Uno. Dos.
Dose.
Which is a good game.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Anything that's good for two people. So if you have any more recommendations about good board games or card games for two people, you can put those in the comments below, because we love to play board games.
Yes.
And
Of course, like, playing games is always fun, but I like when we like do stuff with our families. So like when we have like date nights with them, and like whether we're like at your parents' house playing games, eating, or like at my parents' house playing games, eating, hanging out with like, you know, the kids. So like for me, that's it. Like, that's what I love. Like,
that's really sweet.
Because we always like, because then it's more fun playing games with a bunch of people. So yeah.
What is something you each do that gets on the other's nerves?
You go first.
Oh, I already know what it is. But this one I actually had to think about for like a good amount of time, because this gets on my nerves. We have this latch on our door, and it is like a latch that closes. He's laughing because he knows I hate this. It's a latch that closes the screen door. It like basically it makes it so you can't open the screen door, but you can only lock it from the inside. Well, when Gio knows that I'm coming home, I feel like there's no reason for that latch to be on, because there's no way for me to get inside with a key, because you can only unlatch it from the inside. And I hate it when I come home and I have a million things in my hand and that damn latch is on. It's not necessary when the deadbolt in the other lock is already locked. I hate that stupid latch. I don't think it's necessary. I've lived in much like bigger cities and I've never used a latch. So I hate that latch, and I hate that he insists on putting it on even when I know that he knows I'm coming home. The last time he put it on, he was in the shower. He came down butt naked and had to open that stupid latch, and I was like, this is what you get.
I love that latch.
I hate that latch. I hate it.
For me, it's like a security. You know, it's like we don't live in a bad neighborhood or anything, but I don't know. I just do. For me, it's like that's that extra measure of security, and it's so ingrained in me to put the latch on that I just don't even think about the fact that, oh, you're coming home and the latch
and then I
is
can't
on.
get in. You don't think about it anyway.
I don't think about it because it's just so it's a natural reaction to latch the door and then shut and lock the door. So that's
I'm not saying like leave the door open, like lock it in a way that I can use my key and get in. But okay, so what do I do that gets on your nerves? Don't say everything.
Everything. Let's see. You know, it's like nothing major, but because I'm so particular about things, I guess, like the leaving of the bottles and stuff everywhere drives me bonkers. There's like half drunk Powerade Zero bottles all over the house, and
because they're not done yet.
Let me talk.
Okay.
You talked about my latch.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about these Powerade Zero bottles.
Okay.
And I feel like if they're not done, then put it back in the refrigerator and let it get cold again. Or finish the one that's not done. Like, literally, there's like 4 of them on the nightstand this morning. And I'm like, why are there 4
That's a good question.
half-drunk Powerade Zero bottles? Like, that just, it drives me bonkers. So it's like, you know, throw the trash away if you're done, and if you're not done, then put it in the refrigerator and stop opening new ones.
But I want the cold one. Like, there's sometimes when I come home, I'm like,
you see, I want the cold one. But if you put the one that you didn't finish in the refrigerator, then it would be what? Cold. Mind blown. What a concept.
Anything else?
Just little things.
We'll stop at the bottles. How about that?
How about we stop at the bottles?
Let's see. What's Gio's favorite outfit on you? And okay, we'll just do that one. What's your favorite outfit on me? I actually told him this one in advance because I was like, I know we're gonna get on camera and you're gonna be like, I don't know, like. So I did tell him this one in advance. So you should know.
I do know.
What is it? You can't say that on camera.
I can say it on camera. It just doesn't make sense to say. No. Like I told you, it was the outfit, that dress with the pockets, and it's like ruffled in the front, kind of.
It's okay. So it's this dress from City Chic. It has a zipper down the front, and then it has these like big billowing pockets. It was actually designed by Rachel Kassinger, and then she sold the design to City Chic, but that's a whole nother story. But in any case, I have it in red and I have it in orange, and it's like the City Chic dress that they make in a million different fabrics. And I always felt really self-conscious in it because it like fits at the hips. It's not, it has no stretch at all. It fits at the hips, and it's like a little baggy on the top because I'm like smaller on the top than on the bottom. And when he said that was his favorite, that was like kind of nice to hear because I always kind of was like, oh, is this too big on the top? So, no. And you like it in red more than orange.
Well, red is my favorite color.
Red's his favorite color.
I like it more in red than in orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it.
And my favorite outfit on Gio, not that you asked what mine was, but I'm just going to answer. Gio has these dad jeans, and they have like a lot of holes in them, and I just think that they look really good on him. I love also when Gio dresses up. When Gio has like dress clothes on, it's like, oh my God. Like, I remember the first time he had like 3 speaking engagements in one day and then a networking event that night, and he was dressed up the whole day, and I was like, he had this blue blazer on and his dress shoes and like he always wears like slim fitted pants. Oh, I could go on and on. But yeah, I like when Gio dresses up a lot.
A lot.
The end. Okay. Yeah. How do you support a partner in fighting their oppression if you're not in that group? I think this is a really thoughtful question.
I think being as knowledgeable as possible about a situation always helps, because just because you're not personally in that group does not mean that you can't be knowledgeable of those things. So I think that me trying to be as knowledgeable about plus size fashion, or things that like your diabetes, just stuff like that,
or even just accessibility for larger bodied people, I was going to say that
is important, because then you can have those constructive conversations with your partner about it. But also, if you are in a space where someone else is speaking about it, whether it's positive or negative, you're able to leverage your information and your knowledge, and also gain that knowledge of those situations. So I think just knowing things and asking those questions is important, and that's a way that you can be supportive.
I think like for me, one of the moments where I realized like Gio really gets it was so at Pride last year, he's gonna laugh because he probably knows what I'm gonna say. They a lot of corporations, you spin a wheel, win a prize. So I spun the wheel, I won the prize, and I won a t-shirt, and I was like, awesome, I need a 2XL, and they were like, the largest we have is medium. That was a red light moment for me, which means I got really angry. And I was like, how are you going to be an inclusive brand at Pride? You're trying to reach out to us, and you're saying the biggest that a LGBTQ person could be is a medium? And I was so enraged, and I kind of let it go because I was just like mad about it. And then we saw that same brand at the transgender job fair, and without even us talking about it, Gio goes up to them and was like, so what size shirts are you gonna have at Pride this year? Because last year you were, and he kind of like let them have it, and Gio's like the best at letting people have it in like the nicest, most respectful way, where they still know that they really messed up. And they were like, we'll be having an inclusive range of shirts, and he was like, exactly. And we just like kind of walked away, and that was a moment where I was like, it's nice as a plus size person, like to not always have to be like, oh, I don't fit in this chair, or like we just traveled, I could like barely fit on this toilet that we had in our hotel room. Like, it's nice to just.
In your defense, neither of us could.
It was really don't stay at the Gregory, because those toilets, I don't know who designed that.
Baby, it was nice, but them toilets weren't there.
Yeah, so it's just nice to kind of have somebody who thinks about like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, are you uncomfortable? And we kind of talk about those things, and I like that openness because we do have different lived experiences. So I think for me, how I am a supportive partner in that regard is that I listen a lot. I think there's things that I've learned since being with Gio that I maybe didn't know before, or that I did but maybe I wasn't as conscious of, which is that it's always Gio's decision whether or not he wants to out himself to whoever we're around. So that's up to Gio, and he never has to out himself if he doesn't want to. That, what else? I'm trying to think what other things we always talk about.
About the fact that I'm brown.
Yes.
And that you're not.
And then I'm not.
And that's important.
That is
to
also
remember.
important.
A context of conversations that we have in public, is important, because we have to learn to support each other in that way. So having constructive conversations when people are watching, so that way it doesn't ever seem out of context, and then it puts us in a position where we have to, defend each other or whatever. So yeah, because you're not in that same ethnic demographic, that's something that we've had to talk about.
And it's just my privilege and not having to think about that in those situations. So we've definitely talked about that as well.
Okay, moving on.
Moving.
That got long.
That one got long. Okay, this is the question that we kind of alluded to already. Which reason do you two as a couple receive the most discrimination? Your LGBTQ plus status, your racial difference, or your weight difference? We kind of already alluded to this.
I think, honestly, it depends on where we are. Because it's a toss-up between, our racial differences or our size difference.
I think it's always both, honestly.
Right.
I think I think that has a lot to, I think both, I can't even separate them. I mean, obviously they intersect, we can't separate them, but to me it seems like that's what people have the biggest issue, that I'm white and fat and that he's thin and black. That's what people see. And I think nobody knows that we're LGBTQ unless we out ourselves. So nobody really takes issue with that so much.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any experiences?
No, I mean, I think just whenever we travel, we're always mindful of that. Different areas are going to be, a little bit more conscious of those different things.
Yeah.
So, I think in Chicago, it's not necessarily, the racial difference. It's more of the size or something like that, Whereas when we were in New Orleans, it's more of the racial difference and not necessarily the size, And then some places it's both, like you said. So I think it just depends on where we are and the different contexts of those situations.
I think it's whatever is because those are the most visual.
Visual, right.
Yeah. First impressions, we did that already. What do you love most about each other?
I love your strength, that you're so resilient with everything, just fighting through the wanting to be, confident in yourself, when you felt like people were telling you not to be. Just that resilience is amazing, and I love that. I love that about you, because it shows so much more about you than it does about those individuals, and the fact that you always want to care for me, even when I'm love me less, chunk.
He always says love me less, chunk, and I'm it's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love that you always want to just be hey, I love you so much, hey, I love you so much, and you want me to know that I'm loved.
Yeah.
So,
I never want you to ever feel that I don't love you and I'm not down for you and I don't have your back all the time, and I just feel hey, I'd rather be annoying and tell you all the time than you not know. And that's just the kind of person that I am. I'm very emotional, heart on my sleeve type of person. So that's nice that you appreciate that. What do I love most about you? I think what I love most about Gio is that also his strength, but it's actually a different kind of strength. I think what he's referring to is more emotional strength that I have, and I think that Gio has a lot of strength of conviction. He is the type of person, when my dad met Gio, we were in the car on the way home, and he said Gio is the type of person who can change people's minds just by being himself. And I think that really sums up what I love about Gio, that all he has to do is walk into a room and be him, and he's strong. He's calm under pressure. He's the only person that I know who can get somebody who you think they would never apologize, never change their mind, and he can kind of like level with them, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's like
you can just give your example then.
What, of the today?
Well, sure.
Or the McDonald's example.
Which McDonald's example?
Or
Today might be
today's probably a better example.
better.
Okay, so today I had an issue at the bank, and the person was really condescending to me, and I like felt like I was trying to advocate for myself, but she kind of, every time I was like, hey, this has been an ongoing issue, she kind of just kept shutting me down. And I told you about it, and he was like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to her. And I was like, ugh. In my head, I'm thinking, ugh, now I can't go to this bank branch anymore, because anytime like I get upset, like I definitely get to the point of being emotional, and it's hard for me to communicate in a way that's like healthy. We'll just say that. My anger, the intersection of my anger and my anxiety is not a cute place. Let's just say that. So there's been many times where I've hit that point, and then I'm like, okay, I can't go there anymore. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, oh, there's not another like bank branch like near our house. Like, so I'm thinking that, and then I'm sitting in. She was like, just go sit in the car. I'm gonna talk to her. So I'm sitting in the car. This branch manager of the bank comes out, and she is like, I mean, she was pretty much short of being on her knees begging me to forgive her. And it's just because he has this way of like getting people to understand his point of view, and being really strong in his convictions, but not insulting them. And he's just a great communicator, and he's really, really great like with respecting and understanding where other people are coming from and meeting people where they're at. I think that is just like how he really excels. And I think because it's something I'm so emotional, I'm not pragmatic at all. So I think it's like, I think what we love about each other is what we don't have, because it seems so like to me it just like, she's apologizing to me, not like saying don't ever come back to this bank. Like I was like really shocked. So I think like, yeah, I admire his pragmatism and his ability to kind of communicate in a really like respectful, professional way. Was that good?
I think that's the best way to explain it, because trying to explain it wouldn't have been like really straight to the point, but giving an example.
Yeah, that was a good example.
And it was fresh. It just happened.
It did. It literally just happened before we came here, so that was a good example. Okay, what's the thing about each other that surprises you most? I think sometimes there's things that are cultural that will surprise us a lot.
Yes.
Like no one in his family says sorry. That is like a really big surprise to me, but then also they don't hold grudges. Like I'm Italian, so like, I mean, my sister still holds on to the fact that my dad ate her cannoli one time when she was in the 7th grade. Like, I mean, it's just, we hold grudges. Like, people in my family have feuded over, like, the littlest things. So they don't hold grudges, but they also don't say sorry. They just, like, kind of move on. And it's, like, I guess that's, like, yeah, that's just, I think that's just a cultural thing. But, like, it's been very interesting to me, like, not that we've had any issues, but just, yeah, obviously we've been around each other's families, so it's been interesting, because I'm like, wait, like, that just happened, and now you're, like, cool again? Like, you're not, like, holding on to that? Like, so that's really interesting to me. What about to you?
Something that surprises me. That you're funny. Because I didn't really think you were that funny, like, as far as, like in a jokey
I'm like
way.
Not funny on purpose.
Right.
I like, if you were like, hey, do stand up, I'd be like,
ooh,
yeah.
No. But you are, like, sometimes you do, and I'm like, Chunk, what are you even talking about? And it just makes me laugh. So it catches me off guard, excuse me, sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, because you're not, like, I am a very, like, tell a joke, funny person, and you're not. But then when you say something that's funny, or something that's kind of like naive but funny,
yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, how did you not know that? You know, so yeah, that makes me laugh. It does. It surprises me, because I'm like, she got me that time.
I'm funny. Okay.
You gonna hold on to that for
Yeah,
forever.
oh yeah. Anything else you want people to know? Will you come back for another Q&A?
Maybe.
Do you want them to leave more questions for us below?
Sure. You can leave more questions below. And if you get to 1,500 subscribers,
Ooh.
I'll do a part dos.
Part dos. Okay, cool. That's even better than 2,000, so I'll take it.
Make it a little bit more attainable.
Okay. Where can people find you?
In my skin.
Well,
You can follow me at Cocky Geo.
that is his public
That is my
page.
Public IG page. Follow me. Share the love. Show the love. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any other public forums.
Right. His nonprofit has a Facebook page. You can like
Yes.
that. Meta Center Inc. on Facebook.
Boom. Or www.metacenterinc.org.
So that's it for us today. Thank you for joining us for the 1,000 subscribers relationship Q&A. We've loved talking to you about all these things, and we hope you got to know us a little bit better, especially him, Mr. Private over here. So again, if you want to see another one, make sure you like this video, leave us a comment, and subscribe so I can get to 1,500 and he'll come back. All right?
Yeah.
We'll see you later. Ah!